What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since I've done a video, and I can tell you that as much as I have said I want to get back into doing videos, it has been a challenge to get back into the swing of things. I'm hoping to be able to change that going into 2025 because I really want to highlight, of course, Amazon tree boas and some of the other awesome projects that I have here. I want to talk about handling Amazon tree boas. Now, this is one of my tricolor tiger females. This was actually produced by my buddy Randy over at Stoic Arboreals, and I'll put a link down in the description below. But one of the things that I want to discuss is, these guys get a really bad rap for being bitey and super defensive. There's a couple of things. One, I will say working with captive bred animals, very different than working with the imports. And I think most people know that for the most part. It can be a little frightening when you've got a snake, no matter how large it is, that's just striking at you for one reason or another. But I will say the captive bred animals definitely tend to use their brains a little bit more. But something that I have learned that has really been key with working with not just Amazons, but a lot of arboreal snakes is giving them something to go towards. So I've been handling this animal now for a few minutes, and she's been super chill. She's maybe taken one shot at me, but that's also because I use my hands to talk, and they don't really like that. But she's pretty freaking chill. Of course, now she's looking at my face, which means she might try to take a pop at me because my lips are flapping. But if I want to change this, of course, I can do the wonderful McCurley twist to kind of get her away from focusing at me. And then what I can also do is give her some kind of point to try to go to. So my phone is resting on one of my rack systems. So of course she's going to be a little nervous about the phone, but if I kind of just nudge her along, she's going to try and go towards the rack system. And in that moment where she might have gone from defensive to thinking, I can get her to focus on going into one particular direction. This is a great tool when you're working with animals that are really sight oriented and also tend to have a little bit of that flight or fight response on a consistent basis. Now, again, I use my hands a lot when I talk. So of course now she's going to kind of get into this defensive position because she's not sure what's going on. A weak little strike there. But what I'm going to do is twist. Her tongue's flicking. She's trying to figure out what's going on. And then I'm going to come back around and I'm going to give her a point to kind of aim towards and go towards, just to get that brain going. And then again, once she starts using her brain, I can come up under her just like I would any other snake, and I can get that brain moving and thinking. Now, for proof of concept out there, especially if there's anybody that's like, well, I can't believe that would work all that well for an import. This is a young imported animal I've had here for about a year now, and she's doing fantastically well. This is like a pink garden phase animal, and she has a tendency to be a little bit more defensive, and she's probably going to be looking at me because, again, my lips are flapping. I'm going to try to move my hand just to kind of get her focused elsewhere. She's very tense, but what I want to do is I'm going to do this spin, and I'm also going to try to come around. She's wrapped around kind of tightly around my wrist. So this is actually the perfect case scenario to show y'all that this does work. There we go. So now I've gotten her off my wrist. I'm moving her a lot, so she's starting to think. She's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and honestly just wants to get away from me. But I'm kind of going to point her in the direction of this rack, and you can see she's moving a lot. She's like, okay, what is going on over here? Obviously the phone's a little concerning, but I'm getting that tongue flick, and I'm getting her to really start moving forward as she goes out of frame. This is such an important tool when you're working with arboreal snakes. I use these same tricks for young carpet pythons, emerald tree boas, and other corallus species. I have Russian bergeri here. I also have annulatus here, and it works across the board. It's a great tool. I've used it with retics and berms, but I wanted to make it a point to show you guys that you actually can handle these animals with very little chance of being bitten, and you can actually have a great time working with these wonderful snakes. And again, this does work across the board with so many different species. So I encourage you to try it, move slowly, move deliberately, and you're gonna have a wonderful opportunity to work with these snakes. And if you love them as much as I do, every second with them is absolutely magical. So hopefully this tip has helped you, and you can start working with your Amazon or other arboreal snake, and you get bit a little bit less.